I know you're tired of it, but yes, this is another video on the silver squeeze. But we're in the same squeeze, it has just moved. And a big dramatic move it has made. I'll explain why we should be concerned and why this one might be the most important yet in this video as we explore. The reason why this might be the most important yet is because of what I had just heard was sent to me by somebody who knows a lot from the inside as of what's going on. I've got no more details, but there is something happening with the military. I don't know anything more than that, and I'm not going to go into any more information because there's one piece of information that was shared with me that I'm holding off until we can get some confirmation. But this could have a pretty big impact with silver. Yes, indeed, especially with where this shift has occurred. But nonetheless, let's talk about what's going on here. This is pretty amazing, some of the news that's coming out about what's happening with the silver market as in London that has led the prices to shoot up to $54.50 an ounce. Now, we're still way below that now, but there has been some changes that has happened, and I've talked about it some in the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the Futures Exchange. There has been a lot of movement with arbitrage opportunities forming with higher than reported silver prices there for literally months in U.S. dollars. But the report, the daily report that Oriental Ghost has posted really does tell us a lot about what's going on there. And it may not have a dramatic impact on price here, but it does certainly make the case for higher silver prices going forward. And my friends at Summit Metals, they also keep up with what's going on in the markets. In fact, they're owned by insiders in trading and very knowledgeable on precious metals. So check them out, experience their great customer service for yourself, and see if you can find some products that are right for you by elevating your wealth with Summit Metals. Link is down in the description below. So what has just been reported with the latest report, the data from the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the Futures Exchange has shown yet another dip into the vaults. The Shanghai Futures Exchange vaults are now down 6,693 kilograms to already at a lowest ever. So it's pretty amazing. The last week we saw a dip below, the 1 ton. Or the 100 tons rather, or 1,000 tons. It's now 905,235 tons. But it is something. It is amazing to see this move in the silver vaults there in the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the Futures Exchange. And what's going on there is there's a lot of silver moving around to get to equilibrium. There's equilibrium in the West now. I think that's one of the reasons why silver's prices have kind of scaled back and consolidated with the LBMA vaults that have been really kind of at a dangerous level for a number of years or uncomfortably low and got almost to a crisis point before. But now we're at a point now where the vaults in China are struggling there because a lot of people are buying and a lot of activity happening there. And, of course, some of that also could be movement for military applications. Maybe even other institutions within China buying it, these big bars to be able to be used for military applications. Now, I don't know what is going on militarily, and who knows, it could be turn out to be nothing. It could just be exercises. I'm not sure. I don't want to say more about it, but if it does turn out to be something big, I kind of want to alert you to it because we should be ready. We should be prepared. We don't know what's going to happen, especially with the threat on Taiwan and what's going on in the East. And, of course, there's other areas, too. Venezuela's heating up now, and there's still problems geopolitically around the whole world. There's been a lot of fires that have been put out. Hot wars stopped pretty much in their tracks, but there's still a lot of tension. There's a lot of tension around the world for sure, and so we'll see what happens. But this is something that's dramatic, and I'm gonna be referencing a piece here that discusses this even more from Vince Lancy says that China's silver inventories have been nearly depleted as exports surge in October, compounding a modest 3.55% month-on-month decline in domestic production and setting the stage for tighter market conditions ahead. Silver output from key producing provinces like Henan, Yunnan, Shandong, and Zhejiang fell modestly in October as maintenance shutdowns at copper smelters and end quarter stock audits curbed supply, while lead smelters sustained byproduct output thanks to strong refining margins. Disruptions at copper facilities and lower raw material grades at lead zinc operations in Jiangxi and Guangzhou and Inner Mongolia point to further reductions in November. So this is something that's a pretty telling tale there, and those are in market conditions that are happening within the country. But stack on top of that everything that I talked about before. Now, since late September, smelters have diverted a larger share of production abroad after export windows reopened, cutting domestic allocations to long-term contract minimums. The resulting short squeeze overseas spilled into China's spot market, where smelter inventories plunged by roughly 50% month-on-month by the end of October. Spot premiums for silver ingots climbed to 30 to 50 yuan per metric ton, reflecting scarce availability. Now, for more than a century, London has served as a hub for global precious metals trade, where benchmark prices are set and vaulted bars circulate among a tight network of banks. Secured trucks once handled those flows daily. Today, cargo planes are stepping in. Traders are reportedly booking transcontinental freight to move bulky silver bars from New York to London, paying rates typically reserved for gold to capitalize on the premium in the London spot market. But market sources indicate some producers still plan to withhold spot sales in early November, despite expectations that easing London liquidity strains and narrowing export margins could restore domestic circulation later in the month. The near-term picture remains one of tightening supply and thin inventories across China's silver sector. And so that's where the shift is. That shift is from London to now China, Shanghai. It's a pretty big deal. But this probably won't have the effect on the price, the spot price, as the London market did. But it just goes to show you that there is crisis, or not crisis, but it's a shift in the disruptions in the supply chain for silver. It's very real. And this short squeeze, this version of it, has just essentially been transferred from one market to another. And that will essentially overall affect the market in due course and time, and at the very least, I think it will bolster the price and prevent it probably from falling much lower than where it is now to squeeze that arbitrage opportunity. Now, as I record this video, the markets are down for all the metals, and but that could change in an instant, especially if what I'm telling you actually does come out to be something more than just what I've discussed here with potentially some military activity. I'm not sure exactly what that's about, but we'll see. But nonetheless, keeping an eye on things, it's pretty amazing to see what's going on in the silver market and how quickly the prices can change in one direction or another. And so far, feel very good about having silver as part of my portfolio and holding on through these times of radical moves in one direction or another. Volatility in the silver market is something I think we're probably going to have to get used to. We're going to probably see some days where it drops fairly dramatically and other days where it just it shoots up in price. We'll see how that plays out, but nonetheless, it's fascinating and it's always exciting. But one thing is for sure, the fundamentals of silver remain intact in terms of the overall supply deficits that we're seeing in the market. So we're tracking that as well. And that is something that has been sustainable of steady deficits of silver over the last 5 years now. Before we're in the 5th year right now. And it's projected to continue in 2026. That's also something else that's going to hold up prices. But it's interesting. Let me know what your thoughts are about what's going on with silver and this shifting silver squeeze. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.